There's been a lot in the newspapers and on TV about the health care plan. And I don't know why they call it the health care plan. They ought to call it the Congressional Corruption Plan, because the people who are going to pass it are already corrupted by the insurance companies and by the lawyers who give them the money to run their campaigns. And they ought to recuse themselves from even voting because they're on the payroll. It shouldn't be called a health care plan. It should be called the health insurance plan. And what they're doing is, instead of getting rid of the health insurance industry, which is a waste of 30% of the money spent on health care, they're allowing all these insurance companies to continue to do business as usual, to charge their 30% bloodsucker money, so that there's no savings whatsoever from the government taking over the plan and being the actual insurer. And if these people weren't taking the bribes from the health insurance companies, and that's what I call them, bribes. I know they'd like to call them donations. They like to say that they're perfectly legal in all of this. Well, that's what they said about Goldman Sachs giving $1 million to Hillary Clinton and McCain and to Obama. But I consider it a bribe. And here's Goldman Sachs. They should all be in jail for all of their speculations and for the fact that they cornered the market on gasoline. But we'll get back to that some other day. Let's get back here to this health care plan. This is an insurance plan. It's a giveaway of taxpayers' money to insurance companies that do no good whatsoever. It's just a bunch of people that tell you that you can't have an operation because it's too expensive and it doesn't fit into their profit plan. Well, it seems to me that when you're going to a doctor, you shouldn't have to blow your diagnosis through the insurance company. You and your doctor should discuss the diagnosis, and maybe there should be a group of people that might take a look at it to see if everything is okay, if it's an expensive deal. But we certainly shouldn't have people having to go to an insurance company that will only make money if it denies coverage. That doesn't make any sense to me. This whole capitalism thing doesn't make sense to me. The fact that my country has decided that it's going to worship capitalism and it's going to fight communism. Well, I don't think there's anything more communist than America. I really don't. We have a communist police force, publicly owned. Communist roads, publicly owned. We have a communist post office. I mean, almost everything that we have is communist. Our educational system is publicly owned and it's communistic. It's owned in common. Perfect example of communism. Well, there's probably only 10% of the wealth floating around that isn't communistic. The banks are the most communistic thing there is. They take fake, phony paper money printed by the Treasury. In fact, it's not even printed anymore. They just give the banks some units that they put on their ledger. So now I've got $1 million where they never see a penny of it in coin or in paper. It's just a number that's agreed they can put that on their ledger. And they write down that they had an agreement to put that on there, and then they have an agreement also that they can multiply that 9 times, but some of them multiply it 30 to 50 times, which is why they're in trouble. Because they're so greedy they just can't follow the rules. And the same thing with these insurance companies. For some reason, when people do stuff for private gain, guess what? They tend to cheat. It's a cheater's market. Congress is a cheater's market. Everything is a cheater's market. And I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm sick and tired of news that doesn't point that out. When was the last time you saw the news point out that the Congress was paid off by the insurance companies and they shouldn't even be voting because they're already compromised? You haven't seen it because the newspapers are in cahoots with these criminal congressmen. up in the District of Criminals in Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the American warmongering nation. A nation that's always, always, always at war. Why, I'm embarrassed to be an American, actually. We're at war so often that I'm just embarrassed when somebody asks me, are you an American? And I say, yes, I'm afraid that I am, and I apologize for my country being a vicious, vile warlord around the world, hurting people, killing them, invading their nations, killing their presidents, and making things worse than they would be if we didn't even exist. It's a very, very sorry thing. And the fact that we're spending all of these trillions of dollars on wars all over the Middle East, well, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And we're spending them on these wars, all these trillions, but guess what? We don't have a dime for the healthcare system, which is, as I say, an insurance system. Now, I'm retired. I get Medicare. And guess what they've added to Medicare? There's an insurance overlay on Medicare where if you get a supplement, you have to buy it through an insurance company, which you can get for free. The government will pay it. But the insurance criminals get the money. Why? Because they own the Congress. I know that you think that the government and the Congress belongs to you. I know that. You've been taught that all your life. I'm an American. I'm an American. I'm free. I'm free. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. I'm free at last. I'm an American. Well, you don't have a representative in Congress. Representatives are all bought and paid for. I've been up to Congress in Washington, and I tried to see my congressman. Oh, there was no way I could do that. Man's supposed to represent me, but he's never had lunch or breakfast with me. Ever.